Hey everybody. So anyways, I wanted to show this today. This is going to become very important in the next few days because of all of the undigested emotional stuff that we couldn't handle over Christmas and New Year's. And also because we drank too much, ate too much, and we didn't poop enough. Or we pooped so much because we had diarrhea because our whole colon was blowing up. Okay? So understand something. And I need you to get this. Okay? You know, you ever gone to a chiropractor? Well, they will align and put your joints into place, which is really quite amazing, I think, you know? But the reality is, it still doesn't get to it, does it? And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Your body, okay, is mainly made out of tissue, right? Correct?
Yes.
I mean, you know, you have a bone structure here, but whenever you feel pain, whenever you feel pulling, okay, whenever you feel a knot, is it the bones? No. And people go, oh man, my bones are sore. No. The only time you're going to have a bone problem is osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, okay, or osteopenia or bone cancer. That's it. So, and the osteoporosis, you'd never know you had it, except, you know, you're crumbling. Okay, or you're getting calcium deposits in your gallbladder, or you're getting calcium deposits in your kidneys, or you're getting calcium deposits in your breast. Oh, wait a minute here, guess what? Did you know that when you get calcium deposits in your body that you are in a precancerous state? Because you have to be pulling so much calcium from your bones to buffer down the acidity because you're right on the edge of getting cancer somewhere. Now, those stones will show up in the area that is most probable for the cancer. Now, but understand something. Whether you've got kidney stones or gallstones, or you've got a calcium deposit in your breast, or you've got calcium deposits throughout your body, that's all just displaced calcium that can all be put back. Look, I don't care how much you're suffering. I do care, but I don't care how much you're suffering in the way of pain or stiffness, or they tell you that you're going to have to go to surgery. Most of it's just BS, dysfunctional belief systems. A surgeon's going to tell you you need surgery, but I will tell you that 99 out of 100 surgeries never needed to be done. But if you didn't understand the body, which surgeons do not understand the body, I'm working with 2 surgeons now that do not understand the body. And I'll tell you right now, whenever we're teaching medical people our technique, the Wolfe Non-Surgical and the Detox and the diet and all the other techniques that we show, they get really excited at the beginning, and then as we get into it, they start getting angry at us. Why is that? Well, the subconscious is going, no. If you say that you love this and this is the answer, then you're saying that medical is not the answer. Right. Because we have made medical the answer for day in and day out for our health care. And when you make medical the answer for your health care, you become a 911 emergency. Don't you get it yet? So I'm telling you right now, I get into a squabble with these surgeons. We're trying to teach how to take fibroids apart, and they're really loving it. And then we're saying, but you do understand you'd never have them if you understand about your diet and not making your mind into a riot, that we wouldn't even have to go in and even pull this apart. It wouldn't even exist. So it's like we're saying that you guys are out of a job, but they're not. It's just that we have too many surgeons. We don't need all these surgeons. We're going to need 10 times more or 100 times more surgeons, the more inflammation that we get in our body. And the only way we'll get inflammation in our body is if we disrespect and dishonor our bodies with toxic thoughts and toxic foods. Now understand something. There's not a physical problem in this body anywhere, whether it's his ankle, whether it's his knee, whether it's in the fingers, the joints, whether it's in the elbow, whether it's around the heart, okay, or whether it's the lungs. It's all scar tissue. It's all a scar tissue crystallization, displaced calcium issue. You know, when you go to a chiropractor and they align your spine, that's a beautiful thing. But the reality is they're aligning your spine and they say, hey, I need you to come back every week or 2, right? That's what they do, right?
Yeah.
But what's actually bringing the spine out of place or the joint out of place? It's actually the beef jerky scar tissue. Your scar tissue dehydrates and it shortens. And as it does, or if you have inflammation, what does a muscle do? It contracts. Now, if a muscle's contracting and it stays in a contracted position, it pulls the joint back out. You know what? Take it or leave it. Don't really care. I don't mind. Come on my show. Challenge me. But physiotherapy doesn't get to the issue. Massage doesn't get to the issue. I have a doctorate in acupuncture. That doesn't get to the issue, but it's very helpful. Chiropractic can be life-saving, but it doesn't get to the issues of the tissues. And the issues are always in the tissues. Yeah. And that's why you're always going to a chiropractor. Yeah. So unless you're really saying, I want to learn how to master my body, you're in big trouble. Because unless you become the master of your own body, then you're telling someone else to master it. And if you're being treated, you're only going to be good for the next treatment. So just understand something. You know, whether you've got a prostate problem, or whether you've got a endometriosis, or whether you had a cesarean, okay, or a tummy tuck, all of these are scar tissue issues. And every time that you have surgery, that's the worst scar tissue you'll ever have. It'll go in when you, or even if you haven't had surgery, if you're always having bloating or pain in your abdominal area or indigestion, every time you feel that, you are creating adhesions. They're bands that are actually going in and they're going to choke off your intestines like a snake would just choke it off. Okay, and that's why you can't poop. That's why, you know, you can't get it up anymore. Okay, that's why your periods are, you have all this blood clotting going on. So everything is about flow. Whether you're trying to have a poop, whether your blood's trying to flow, it doesn't really matter. Like you'll see most people, like you still, look at how high you are here. Yeah. He's already had his heart worked on. Yeah. You're going to see everyone, look at this. Here, you may not see it, but this is still about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch higher on this side than this side. And this is scar tissue that he's put around his little broken heart. Yeah. Because nobody loves him and he's unworthy. You know, if you were to, and you know, you're going right now, if you don't know me, you're just going, what a sarcastic da-da-da I am. Well, I use sarcasm to teach, right? Have I ever tried to hurt you or put you down? No. Okay, no. So the subconscious is the victim. Is always the victim. It's not the heart that's the victim, not your spirit. It's the subconscious that was programmed to be a victim, and that's why he's still got scar tissue crystallization and calcium around his heart area.
And I'm right-handed.
And you're right-handed, yeah. So this is much higher. You need to be done again, okay, if you can do it before he leaves. All right, really get in there and take it apart. But here, in this area here, you're going to find in a lot of people anywhere from 5 to even 20 adhesions throughout this area. And you're going to learn that in the A to Z masterclass that we taught, that we're going to be giving away free on New Year's Eve. Check that out. Anyways, and also check out the Holy Grail of Healing. I just did that. It's a 3.5 hours. If you watch that, you're going to start to really get this. How would you like to take your life back? How would you like to not be owned by the medical system or by a knife anymore? How would you like to not be a druggie anymore? Okay? So this is all of the stuff, the surgeries, the drugs, they're all because you're not realizing and dealing with the inflammation in your body that is creating the scar tissue formation that's trying to protect the tissue cells in certain areas. So we're going to start, and when we go in here, Jason's going to be using his elbow, and he's already gone in here, right?
Yes, he has. Yep.
Like when you first came here, he was vomiting all the time because he couldn't stomach himself, right?
Yes, I was.
And how many, in the last few days, how many times did you vomit?
Zero. None.
Yeah, and how do you feel about yourself?
Way better than I did when I first got here.
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah, so if you can't stomach yourself or you're feeling sick today, it's because you can't digest something that's a lie.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So we're going to go in here and start at the belly button because right here is where the vagus nerve is, and he's going to work around here. And also there's going to be some mummy issues and daddy issues, and you'll find those in the umbilical cord area. And did you know this? That when a baby's born, you should not cut the umbilical cord for 30 minutes because it's getting stem cells from the mother.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, see, I don't know why. Anyways, it's just a little tidbit. You know, we're going to be teaching all of this in what's called our Perfect Pain-Free Pregnancy. And what we do is we actually have people that will fly to couples that want to be parents, or they come here and we teach them all of this. How to actually how to have a healthy child and raise a healthy child. But you've got to, only way that you can have that is to honor the child inside of you.
Yep.
And until you honor the child inside of you and let the child come out and play and totally love that child inside of you, then you are an adulterated terrorist and you shouldn't have children. Well, that would have been probably me. I mean, we all are, because nobody, if you notice, you go to school for at least 12 years and you come out not knowing how to cook, how to add, how to read, how to love yourself or love anyone else. Okay? And definitely you don't know how to do anything in business. You know, what a joke. Okay, anyways, now I'm back here now. I'm back now. All right. So the reality is that you got to let yourself off the hook for everything and say, today I'm going to understand that I've been lied to up to this point, and now I'm not going to trust anyone. I'm not going to trust Daryl either. Don't trust me. Make me earn your trust, and then do things to see, what's Daryl's ulterior motive? Does he have an ulterior motive? You know, the practitioner you pick is going to help steer your ship. Yeah, and you don't want to be called Titanic. Okay, so everything in the body is issues in the tissues. So everyone has around 10 to 12 blocks in their body. But when you deal with someone and you say, okay, this person's got cancer here, let's focus on here. That would be the medical system, and that would be almost every other health place, or even functional medicine doctors will look in this area. We won't do that. We will come into the area, to the fibroid, to the tumor, and start pulling it apart. And then people go, oh my God, don't touch that. You'll spread the cancer. No, you don't, because it has its own blood supply. Thank you very much. And so its own blood supply is based on feeding itself lactic acid and cutting off nutrition to all the other tissue cells that are healthy around the area, so that it can bring down the area integrity so that it can grow bigger. So when we go in here and get rid of the crystallization and the scar tissue around that tumor, we'll start going in and looking for little cracks in it that we can pull it apart. We're not going in and tearing anything or doing any harm like a knife. You know, like I said, surgery creates more adhesions and more fibroids and more tumors than anything else. Mm-hmm. Because once you've had the surgery, you're done. You'll grow roots from there 2 to 3 inches long. And it'll wrap itself all around the intestines or the ovaries or the uterus or the bladder, your spinal cord. Yeah, like when tummy tucks, right? Or with scoliosis, I'll actually do my elbow and push down and work from the front and clean the front of the vertebrae. I go down that deep. And we can get somebody that has scoliosis or somebody that's had back problems forever and go in through the abdomen and actually untie it, because you can't get at it sometimes because it's in the front. Right. Because the adhesion sits in the front of the spinal column. Right. So you really got to get to know this, that we've all been sucker punched, and 99.9% of all the therapies out there are watered down. And the more approved they are of the government, the worse they're going to be. I mean, like I was talking to your father, and he was saying how now to be a chiropractor, right, you have to have all your vaccinations or they won't let you go to school. Yeah. And they're saying that because they don't want you to give some disease to somebody. Oh my gosh, do you see how, the more that the chiropractors want to be approved by the government so that they can be on insurance, so that they can get insurance money for doing it, they have to give away their soul. Mm-hmm. So when you're dealing with a snake, you're going to have a snake's agreement. So they have to give something away, right? Which is to get vaccinations. And then people go, well, have you been vaccinated? Well, of course I've been vaccinated. Yeah. And then they have to get more vaccinations once they actually go through school. Did you get that? Yeah. So and this is the God's truth. So understand something. I'm not approved by your government or any other government. I am approved by World Organization of Natural Medicine, but I will never be approved of the government, and I will never join a group that I can take insurance for, because I have to give something to actually get that, right? And we don't have any problem being busy, because we'll offer a money-back guarantee, which no other therapy will do. I've never seen another therapy out there say, we'll offer you back a money-back guarantee if we don't make more of a difference in you and your body in the first treatment than anything else you've ever done put together. That's my agreement. Yeah. So, and understand something. It's all about scar tissue issue, crystallization, displaced calcium. We can take a body that is so ravaged with pain and scar tissue, adhesions, and you can tell me that they said that the end is near, okay? And then we'll show you how you can turn yourself around because you were created by God Almighty. And that's the deal. So, you know, I'm going to be even bolder and bolder because I'm allowed to be. You know, it's one thing to have a big mouth, but there's another one to back it up. And the reality is I don't have a big mouth. You just don't realize how powerful you are and how you are a self-healing miracle. You're a self-healing miracle. I mean, you didn't think you could get healed.
No.
Now, what do you think you could be healed from now?
Anything.
Absolutely anything.
Anything.
Okay, so this will be 14 days by the time you leave here.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So, yeah, it's called Game On.
Yep.
And if you take a look at the first few videos, he was white-gray color. A white-gray color, wasn't he?
It was.
Yeah, you were basically dying, right? Yeah. So, but then you were basically trying to kill yourself too, though.
Yeah.
And so you weren't trying to kill yourself. If I would have said, why are you trying to kill yourself? Say, I'm not. Wouldn't you? You would have said, I'm not.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, until you wake up, you don't know that you're asleep.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
But once you wake up, then the fun begins. Like I told him, now that you've got this, it's 9 months before you will even see the crown of your head start to be birthed out of the authentic you. So 9 months. And you might say, oh my God, he's got 9 months work to try to find his authentic self. No, just to see the crown of the head. In 2 years, he'll have his authentic self. Now, you have to understand something. In life, you're going to struggle anyways. So why aren't you struggling to get out of the egg, okay? Instead of struggling to get out of prison.
Right.
Right. So let's break the egg from the inside out and have you discover yourself. So that's what we want to do. So understand something, everyone. So when you're going to get reflexology, chiropractic, shiatsu, so-called deep tissue therapy, physiotherapy, if they're not working on untying the scar tissue, and what we do is you know, it starts off like a knot. Oh, I got a knot in my neck. Oh, I have a tumor in my tummy. Okay, my intestines are all stuck together. I have a fibroid in my pelvis, right? I have a fibroid, I have a tumor in my breast, doesn't matter where. It's all about going in, and you have to understand that even a tumor that is cancerous is still mainly scar tissue. It's just that there's more mutated cells, otherwise cells that now live off of lactic acid and sugar, because they don't live off of oxygen, because you cut the oxygen off here for so long in this area that the cells had to morph into cancer. Now what happens if we can pull the fibers apart lovingly and get the blood flow in that brings the oxygen and brings the nutrition in that brings the waste out? That's called healing. So we know that Dr. Otto Warburg received the Nobel Prize because he proved that cancer, if it goes without oxygen, 32% of oxygen for an extended period of time, it must morph into a cancer cell. And if you can get the circulation back and get rid of the physical blocks and bring up the vibration. But we can go in and do that physical work. But what am I going to do if you refuse to love yourself? What am I going to do if you have given yourself a life sentence? What am I going to do if you broke up with your wife or your girlfriend and you said, I will show her, and on this is subconsciously, I'm going to get cancer and die a miserable death and make her feel guilty. Well, shit, I know that I used to do that to my family. I used to do that to my kids and my wife and everyone else. And you do it.
Yes, I do.
You do it. You do it all the time still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reality is you got to stop that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We need to stop that stuff.
That's right.
So once you stop that, okay, then you allow the physical healing, because there must be a point that you get to that you have totally forgiven yourself of everything you've ever done and never going to do anymore. Because that whole sin thing sin means missing the mark. And some people aren't going to like me because they believe that if you don't suffer for sins, but then if you look at different religions, some religions say that's a sin and other ones say that's not a sin. Some will say that you need to be put to death for. So other people say, no, that was just a mistake. So depending on what faction you believe in or you go to or you read will depend on your sentence. Well, what if I told you I don't believe in anyone down here? What if I told you I don't believe in any system? What if I only believe in a God that created the whole universe, that has always loved me and never judged me? Well, then I'm off the hook. Okay, and then you're going to go, well, if he doesn't have any guilt, then he must be going around destroying people. What are you, like, crazy? You must be crazy. So you believe that the more you suffer for things, the better person you're going to be. No, I don't know where you guys get all this stuff. Okay, but I'm not buying into it. Okay, I'm not buying into it at all. So I just want to say that, you know what? It's a new year. Don't look for a new you. Look for the authentic you. And the authentic you is called total love. All right? Total love. All right? So anyways, it's a scar tissue issue. It's a crystallization issue. It's a calcium deposit issue. That's all it is. If you think it's more than that, then you've been sucker punched. And I don't care what professionals out there. I will be on my Q&A this Friday. You can come on my show. All right, my phone number, I'll make sure I have my phone with me, and I'll make sure we give the phone number out, and we'll put you on speaker, and then you can tell me how I'm wrong. All right? All right, so let's get this game on here, okay? So I say, you challenge me why I'm wrong, or take a bite of something that's right. Have a beautiful day.
Great.
All right, you guys can get to work.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going shopping.